welcome to Pecan Corner. I'm Tina, and today I'm going to re-caulk my bathroom. Well, I'm going to re-caulk the tub. As you can tell, the old caulk is separating. And where do you see those dark lines? Let me move it forward just a little bit so you can see better. Oops. There we go. Get it where we can see better. There we go. Okay, now I've had to do it once before. The underneath the caulk is a hard substance that I'm leaving in place, and I'm putting this caulk over it. But I'm just pulling off the old stuff. You might have to use a screwdriver to get a hold of it, of some of it. Might have to get there we go. But I'm able to pick it up mostly. I can also use needle nose pliers, so I want to be sure that it's out of these cracks, because those are what I need to be certain that I fill, because I don't want any moisture to be able to go down into it. You can actually get a caulk softener, which I don't have, but you can get some. I've never used it, so I can't recommend it. But see, I can just use my needle nose pliers to pull off these pieces and get the excess off, and get all these little bits and pieces off here. There we go. And I've bought mold and mildew resistant kitchen and bath adhesive caulk to use. Bonds like a glue, seals like a caulk. I'm going to use it for this purpose. There we go. And hopefully I bought the right thing. It's very difficult sometimes to go and see, there's some old caulk from the previous one that I didn't get out. There we go. Get that out. There we go. Silicone caulk, I'm always a little nervous about, because silicone caulk is not paintable, and so I always end up, if I have it for something, it has real specific uses, but you don't want to use it on everything because of that, because it's not paintable, and because it only sticks to itself. Nothing else will stick to it. So you got to be careful what you get. And I've had sometimes been advised faultily at the stores when I've asked. So as you can see, I'm just working my way through here. I'm pulling off all the little bit of this old caulk. It's been probably at least 5 or 6 years since I did this, and so it needs it again. This is one of those general maintenance things that you have to do in a house to keep it up and keep from having other problems. So I'm going to continue my work, and then I'll be back in a little bit and show you some more of it. Okay, I've gotten the main caulk removed, and what I'm doing now, where did I put my, there it is. I had to use a little screwdriver to pry a lot of it out, but as you can see, a lot of it came out in large pieces. But what I'm doing now is I'm using this little plastic scraper to remove any excess caulk that's still on there. And I think you can see, I'm going to show you right up against the edge here. Let me see if I can get up close and show you. You see that? Oops, it's too close. Okay. Can you see the difference right there? I resurfaced this tub about 15, well, it's been 13 years. I guess we've been here 13 years. About 13 years ago. And so that's where the modern surface, the new surface, meets the original surface. It's a cast iron tub that dates from about 1920, so the porcelain enamel on it was pretty well worn in the bottom of it. But the material that I used to to resurface it with has held up beautifully. I'm very, very careful with it. I don't ever use anything that might scratch on it. I clean it very gently with gentle cleaners, and so far it's held up really, really well. And although it's starting, there's a few little tiny spots here and there, but for the most part, it's held up really nicely. Okay, so now what I'm doing, like I said, is so I don't want to chip off that paint. What I do want to do is here where there's still a bit of caulk, just a small edge of it. See that? I can feel it. That's what I'm rubbing off with this little gadget. I have several of these little doodads. I got them at Home Depot, and they're for doing caulk with, but I use one of them. I've got one that I keep just in the kitchen for scraping bowls and things with. It works great. So I'm going to continue with this, and that is some drywall that got spilled on there about 4 years ago when we had to fix a hole in the ceiling, and it won't come off now. If we wanted it to stay on there, it wouldn't stay. So anyway, I'm going to work on this, and then I'll be back. All right, now I got it all cleaned off. Now then, I am not very good at caulking, so I'm just going to show you basically what I'm doing. But you may need to watch somebody that's more expert than I am to learn how to actually caulk. I'm going to cover this entire seam, and I'm going to run my finger over it to smooth it out, but it's going to look awful messy. But that's okay. The main thing in here is to be sure that no water, I'm using a wet finger to kind of smooth it out, to be sure that no water can go through that. I've got more caulk on there than I need, but that's, like I said, that's okay. I know it's a messy look, but it's more important that it be done to where it prevents water seepage than that it look nice. And if you want it to be done expertly, then you can pay somebody. I can't pay anybody, so I'm having to do it. But if water can seep through there, that means every time I take a shower, a few drops of water can go down under this onto the wood that's holding it up. As that happens over time, that wood's going to rot, and the whole floor is going to, bathroom floor is going to rot, and then the whole thing is going to have to be replaced just for lack of simple maintenance. So we are going to make sure that we don't have that that lack of maintenance happening here. Yeah, and I'll be back when I'm done. And there we are. I smoothed it with my fingers along the top and bottom edges to be sure that I got it on right. And it's all nice and well sealed now. It took about a tube of caulk, not quite one tube, but most of a tube. I always keep me a little list of things that need to be caulked, and so if I have any extra caulk left over, I can do little tiny jobs, because once you open a tube of caulk, you can't save it. It'll dry out. But anyway, it's all fixed now. Now that's one worry off my mind. So all right, you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you again.